Welcome back, I'm Wavepunk, and today is day 117, day 117, Master Chief Day of the project. I'm excited about it, and today we're doing something very fun. Today we're not going to be working on music at all, and rather we're going to be working on the one piece of an album or an EP that is artistic, but doesn't have anything to do with music. That's the album art. The art that goes on the front that everyone's going to look at, everyone's going to see on Spotify and stuff like that, and see the pretty colors and be like, wow, I want to click on that, I want to listen to that. What's that sound like? I've been going back and forth on what I want to do with this because I am someone who makes art. I've drawn my whole life, and I definitely could take a crack at making my own album art. I've done it in the past before, but I think it'd be actually really fun to focus just on the music and instead actually hire an artist to make an album art for me. I don't know how much money I'm really willing to spend on this, but I am in the 3 digits range. So I think for, a couple $100, we could probably get a genuine artist to make us a really genuine piece of art that will make this album a little bit more special, sort of, in a way. I don't know which one I would actually like more, me making it myself or having someone else make it, but I think for this one, I'm going to try having someone else make it, see how that process goes. I'm also really curious if I'm going to be able to communicate the idea I have in my head well to an artist. I do have an idea, and I think it's a good one. The logo on this channel is my logo, the Wavepunk logo. It's kind of a W with a P implied in the negative space in the middle. A friend of mine, Seismic White, designed it. I really like the logo, and I think it'd be really fun to feature it in the art. Now, up until this point, I've been working on the idea that this album, this EP, is going to be called Boss Fight, and I am still sticking with that idea. I've been tinkering with maybe changing that, but in the vein of what sort of imagery a boss fight entails, I started thinking through what sorts of boss fights have I seen. Is there a way to incorporate my logo into a boss fight scenario? And the idea of having my logo be the boss, kind of that's in the background, this big looming logo that takes up most of the space with a little protagonist in the front who's going to challenge that boss, came to mind. That seemed like a cool idea, but given the shape of my logo, what sort of boss would my logo most closely embody? The idea that came to mind that also seemed the most exciting to me and the most obvious choice here was, do you know those bullet hell games where you're a little ship flying through space and there's waves of kind of like Galaga, Space Invader style, and little enemies coming at you from the side, and then at the end there's one big boss at the end that's just shooting tons of bullets out, and you've got to properly dodge their bullets while also finding a way to do damage? My logo kinda looks like a ship. I feel like you could do this. You could easily make my logo into a boss ship, and then you've got a little, guy down here at the bottom, and this takes up kind of like a square, like album-style piece of art. Maybe it says Boss Fight here. Maybe it doesn't say anything, and it's just a piece of art. I feel like that idea could work really well. So I'm going to see if I can find an artist to talk to about this, pitch this idea to them, see how much they would charge me for it, and then maybe bill them for their services. Now, working with an artist, it's really important to be able to get your idea across clearly, and there's a lot of different things that kind of go into that. So I've used this program PureRef here. This is a thing you can download for free. You can also give them money for it. It's a wonderful way just to kind of collect a bunch of visual ideas into one place if you're an artist. And I've got kind of 3 different pockets of ideas here that I've been pulling art off of, like DeviantArt and ArtStation and stuff like that, just to kind of like, and also Google Images search, just to collect a series of ideas here. In the middle here, we've got kind of the composition, right? This is that core idea we were talking about. Big boss at the top, little ship at the bottom, maybe bullets in the sky. I don't know if I actually want to have it be mid-combat like most of these screenshots are. But these are the kind of ideas of what the boss ship oftentimes will look like. So this is kind of the composition of it. Space in the background, big ship at the top, small ship at the bottom. Then we have kind of the color palette I'm going for. These images, I think, embody it. I like kind of a purple background, maybe some oranges, some bright colors on top of it to accentuate it, but I want the image to mostly be kind of a dark magenta purple vibe to it. And then we have kind of like, what do the ships look like, art style? This is mainly going to be framed, I think, by the actual artist themselves. Who the artist is, I will go to the artist because I like their style. I'm not going to go to the artist and ask them to do some style that isn't what they already are good at. But there was a few images, or a few different kind of styles. I think there's this like kind of heavy line around the outside with very strong colors in the middle. I really like this piece of art just in general. This is great. Also, I love this vibe of like a game controller up against being turned into a ship. And then these are very classic sort of bullet hell style ships. And actually, this image was pulled off of an artist who worked on one of these style of games, and I've got them bookmarked. There's someone I might reach out to see if they'd be interested in making this type of art. This one also, I don't know, kind of had the same vibe. So, but yeah, more blocky, very ship-like looking ships, not orb blobby alien ships, very human-esque, like kind of based off of what current aircraft look like, but modified for space. So the artboard was cool, and I did make a list of artists that I think would be good to possibly reach out to. This person, Min, I think is their first name. Truong, maybe is their last name. They were the person I got that list of ships off of, and they've quite literally worked on a game of this style. Where I've played exactly clones of this game, where you're buying things to level up your ship, and then flying it through the mazes and dying and coming back and spending your money kind of in a roguelike style. So this is someone who's clearly very familiar with this genre, and I think the idea I would express to them would be they would understand it very, very quickly. But they don't have anything kind of compositionally in their library that seems album arty. They seem that they more work on small little pieces, sprites, and emoji type work, emote type work, and maybe a little bit less of kind of big overall compositions. So there's someone I'm considering. I also considered this person who is just going by Weird Planet Visitor. I think this is actually more of a project. They have a website that is dedicated to this. It's all the art that's on their ArtStation, but it's also set in a world with like a encyclopedia of all the animals they created and stuff. Fascinating website. If you want to go check it out, here's the URL. Maybe I'll put it in the description below so you can easily get at it. They have recipes, alien recipes and stuff that you can click on and like check out. Pretty sure you can't make one of these in real life, but a really cool idea. Their art here has this sort of stuff is way too real. I don't want this sort of style for mine, but this on the other hand, exactly the sort of art style I'm sort of picturing. There's that heavy lines, lots of solid colors to shade and to color things in, and then when you get down into kind of their actual spaceman type stuff, it's clear they've got kind of the language of how a ship would be designed, of how to make something look kind of sci-fi but also cartoonish, and with a color palette that I think they will very naturally understand the color palette. And they got pieces like this that I think, like, honestly, this isn't what I want, but this would work as album art, right? So they've definitely got a lot of cool ideas. This is definitely someone I will probably be reaching out to. Especially this is exactly sort of the color palette I'm going for. Maybe slightly brighter, but yeah, great stuff here. I also put this person on my list, Steen Windig. I think it's Steen. I might be saying that wrong. They have some stuff that is like hyper realistic, or not hyper realistic, but significantly more realistic than the art style we've been discussing so far. Things like this are definitely thematically correct here. Very sci-fi. This looks like a racing ship. Like, this is really cool. But this is maybe more realistic than I want to go for the album art. But they have also things like this that are a little bit more conceptual. I don't know why my internet's lagging so much. But a little bit heavier styling here. Something like this with the color palette that we have recommended, I think could work really well. And they clearly know how to put together a whole kind of image. So maybe someone to reach out to. Probably more expensive as well, though. The more work there is to do, the more money it's going to cost. But the person I am most excited about, though, and I really hope is available, this person's Space Goose. I've already showed you two pieces of their art. One in the color palette area and the other one in the ship design area. Here's that game controller designed as a ship. And Space Goose's art is so cool because they regularly are taking real life objects and turning them into ships. Here's a wine cork remover turned into a ship. Looks very, very Star Wars. Here's a beard trimmer that's been turned into a ship. Looks a little bit more, I don't know. That's still kind of Star Wars. It's still like Rebel Alliance. This is maybe a little bit more Star Citizen Elite Dangerous vibes. And it's two pens rubber banded together with a card between it. That's so cool. Here's a fidget spinner space station. And again, remember, our idea is to take my logo and turn it into a ship. So this person's already very well acclimated of how do I take a non-ship object and turn it into a ship. I think that they would do a really good job with that. They also know how to put together some really strong pieces. They also like to work in the colors that I like to work with. Things like this are very much in the vein of the color palette I'm thinking of. Have they ever done an album art? I don't know, but also I've been thinking about it a lot. I'm not sure what makes something album art versus just art you put in a square format and put in front of an album, right? So in general, I think this is definitely the person I'm hoping is available, and I'm hoping is within my price range to work with, because this would be perfect. But yeah, I don't know. This has been a really fun process. I'm going to reach out to some of these artists, and I'm excited to start to get that ball rolling. Keep you guys updated on how that one goes. I did want to start getting that done now, though, before the music is entirely mastered and done, and I'm literally sitting there with a fully done EP ready to release it, but I'm having to wait to get the art done. I'm hoping the art will finish right around the same time the music finishes, so then we can just upload, have our release date set properly and start doing the marketing parts of things. So that's all I had today. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you guys being here. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.